We heard you missed us. We're back. That's right. A brand new Marvel movie talk right here, right now. Because, wow, we've got 8 full weeks of consecutive content here. And we couldn't be more excited to have it, especially to be celebrating, commemorating, and basking in everything that is Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 1. Only one episode this week. That's about to change. But this week we've got one episode, and I've done my part in assembling what we like to consider an all-star panel. Our friend Katie Hampton can't be with us for the simple reason that she did not have time to watch the show, but she also didn't have time to do this show. So she's swamped. If you have any idea by following her, you see how busy she is. But with us, making his triumphant return, I've heard him described as a man without fear. The one and only Nate Miller. How are you, sir? I think you might be on mute for the moment, but
just trying to build some suspense.
That's right. You're a man without fear, but a man without voice for a moment.
Yeah. Very happy to be back. Missed you guys. The show's very cool. I'm excited to talk about it.
And also often described as a man without cheer, David Brody. But you can bring your little pout fish face over here. We appreciate it. Great to see you again, Mr. Brody. Thank you for being here. And everybody's wondering, is Eric gonna wear that crazy mask that cuts off all his circulation and makes his eyes bug out? Let's find out. Oh, no. He's got a different set of a different gimmick, I guess. The man with some fear. So Nate has no fear. You have some, and I'm
balance.
I'm the man with no beer because I want to stay focused in here. And would you look at that? If we're doing a show, of course Daniel Drew will be in the chat, and it's such a large chat, it's covering up Eric's face. But our friend Daniel Drew says, "Woo! Love the first episode back. The parallels between this and episode 1 of season 1 are great. I'm intrigued by Mr. Charles and his boss. Got a quick Jessica mention and fun fight choreography." And I would have to say that I very much enjoyed the fights. There were some really brutal moments in here, but we'll get into all of it. We're going to cover all of it. But I wanted to start off by looking ahead to the entire season. So we've got this episode, which is great. Sometimes a lot of these shows, especially when we cover them, they do the old 2-episode premiere, but not Daredevil Born Again. They were like, just 1 episode will be all that you need. But the interesting thing is that next week is actually going to be 2 episodes airing. So we have the whole overview here. Thanks to the New York Bulletin for ordinance from Mayor Fisk. All civilians must watch Daredevil Born Again. Interestingly, it's listed in Pacific time, and I appreciate that. Eric Conner, well, really everybody except Brody. It's the New York Bulletin. You'd figure it would be in Eastern time. But So this episode was called The Northern Star. And then next week we get a double dip. We get 2 for. So Shoot the Moon and the Scales and the Sword. Yes, Sword. And Eric, I know you have a theory that the Scales might be a lizard or something, Not really. Oh, I think Eric's on mute now. All right. Well, that's good.
A return of Submariner. And
that's what it was. I knew you had something. I forgot.
Count Eric Conner, the man without
Never
sound.
in a million years could I have guessed that that's what he was going to say when he got off the mute.
It's funny. I'd heard him say that before, and I still wouldn't have guessed it because I forgot. Daniel Drew's got a good theory. Scales, Ninja Turtles. I mean, Daredevil and Ninja Turtles.
Hot right now.
Been,
I'm thinking Scales of Justice if it's too obvious, but that's what I'm going with.
Yeah,
that's probably what it is.
My theory makes more sense.
You're right. The Submariner, yeah. And April 7th, we'll get episode 4, Gloves Off. April 14th, The Grand Design. Requiem, The Hateful Darkness, and finally, The Southern Cross. But as you look at that schedule, this is, of course, for our visual audience who have the gift of sight, whereas our audio audience needs to use their heightened senses thanks to some Roxxon chemicals in a truck that they were hit with. And they just have to sense what the rest of us are looking at. But looky there, May the 12th, The Punisher, One Last Kill. So we're getting 8 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. They're going to double up. But this means 2 straight months of this show. Probably in this time slot, but we might move it around a little bit. But for right now, we're going to do Wednesday nights, and we'll see how it goes. Very excited that we have the title, The Punisher Last Kill. I don't like that they call it Marvel Television Special Presentation. I heard Vincent D'Onofrio mention in an interview that this is an hour long, and I was like, well, that's a bit of a bummer. But I guess that's what we should expect. So we've got all these weeks of Daredevil. We get Frank. I would say that judging from this image, Nate, I think that this should be called Frank Castle and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. But it looks like Frank's been going through it, doesn't it, Nate?
Yeah, I mean, I love John Bernthal, and I think he's done a great job as Punisher so far. Not the best Punisher, but a great, I think, adaptation of the character.
Sure.
I don't love this poster.
No,
it's kind of a bit much.
Yeah, the only thing that's missing is him, holding, I don't know, a sign that's "will work for food" or something. I mean,
it looks like Danny Trejo.
And you know what I would say is that if it didn't have the big Disney logo on the bottom, and I didn't know that it was going on Disney Plus, I might read a little bit differently if it was like a giving kind of Machete style exploitation grindhouse kind of stuff, but they're not going to do that.
No, yeah. I mean, and the idea that it's one last kill, Eric, do you think he'll never kill again? Does this just let us know that in Spider-Man Brand New Day, he won't kill anyone?
He won't swear. He won't kill.
Oh, no.
But he will maim. I think he'll bludgeon, but not to death, just near death. Down the road.
That's actually what his sign should have said. If I'm talking, will work for food. It should say will maim for food. I think that's only fair. We'll look at this. This is all everything's coming up. Daniel Drew. May 12th is also the last day of work on that Tuesday chess club, so he'll get to enjoy it as well. This is a good question. Is there a Punisher comic called One Last Kill or anything similar with another character? I mean, it sounds familiar. I don't quite know what we're going to get, and it's just rampant speculation right now. They've announced these in the reverse order. They announced the Punisher special presentation. I almost called it a movie. Silly me. And then they let us know that they were going to double up episodes 2 and 3 of Daredevil. But initially, it gave both Daniel Drew and myself, because we were trading messages, the impression that we were going to get the Daredevil finale and the Punisher special on the same day. And I mean, that told me that, okay, all this talk about him not being in season 2, it might be, sorry for the rough language at the late hour, but that sounded like it could have been malarkey. And I apologize for the kids in the room, but I think he doesn't hang out with Daredevil. I think he's got this special and Spider-Man, and there was only so much they could do, that poor John Bernthal could do. But I'm excited to see it.
Christian, I do. I'm sorry. Yeah. I do have a theory. It just hit me. What if the special presentation, the One Last Kill, lasts the entire special? So I'm thinking like it's an hour and 20-minute snuff film, basically.
Oh no!
Punisher filleting the guy basically to death. I'm just throwing out there. I haven't seen any behind the scenes footage, so it could be the Marvel's response to Hostile or Soft.
Okay, so basically like the scene from Reservoir Dogs stretched out to 80 minutes.
Yeah,
80 minutes.
Coming out
black and white or color.
Releasing in May, right before this character has a crossover with probably the largest character the IP has that markets to children.
Right.
Yeah, I think for sure.
It gets it out of his system. It's cleansing.
Yeah. It's like a cleanse. Yeah. Now I'm a good guy.
Well, we'll see what happens, because in the trailer for Brand New Day, we did see him with a gun, but maybe he gives up the heavy stuff because it is a more family-friendly character, and we're going to see him with a super soaker or maybe like a Nerf gun or something. He can still do some damage because he's the Punisher.
He's not right. He's not the killer. He's just the Punisher. He's just going to punish you. Go to your room. Go to your room. No TV for a week.
The Nudger, I think, would be a nice one.
So anyway, it's a great 2 months, and this is a big year, I think, because at the end of the year we're gonna have Doomsday, but late in the summer, at the end of July, we're getting Brand New Day. Let's not forget, we are getting another season of X-Men 97. We've got Spider-Man Noir. Actually, I think right after that, Punisher. Oh my gosh, this might keep us in business through the summer. Now that I think about it. Oh my gosh. As soon as I figure out how to get it. May 25th. All right, we'll get a couple weeks off. So Spider Noir starring Nicolas Cage will premiere on MGM Plus. Who's excited to have to get some new service that we don't already have?
Isn't it going to be available on something else like a day later?
No, it's going to be available on Amazon Prime in the rest of the world. The rest of the world, yes.
I'll get a VPN then. I'll figure it out.
No, actually, David Brody, no one wants to do anything like that.
He doesn't represent us.
Nope. That's we'll put you in timeout if you talk like that. We got in trouble for not even suggesting that. We We once said don't do it, and we still got. Yeah,
he said
I was referring to my pool. I was going to get a very purple noodle. For my pool.
Oh, that sounds fine. That's something we can all.
Was it the name of your biography, Dave?
Very purple noodle.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
A short film.
One shot.
In any case, so we have we've got a busy year. You'll see a lot of us, but for now, let's talk about getting reacquainted with our friend Matt Murdock, and yes, indeed, the man without fear. And I want to go round and just get overall big feelings, instant reactions. Well, I guess probably everybody watched it yesterday like I did, but I in what Eric Conner is calling Born Again. Thanks for taking the time to make this graphic. Nate, what did you think of episode 1 of season 2 of Daredevil Born Again?
I thought it was really good. I really didn't feel like I don't have any like big complaints that stuck out to me. I just kind of enjoyed it. I thought the pace was good. I thought the action sequences were really cool. There was a lot there. Again, there were multiple moments where I was like, wow, this really feels like a comic book. Like I think in particular in the fight scene where Matt's like the aspect ratio changes as Matt is like sensing things. Like I thought that was so cool. Just something that is just like a really cool like practical effect that they did that just like really emphasizes his abilities. I think the performances are really great. It is kind of weird coming off of the first season, which like did have a lot of stuff that was like, I like this, but I can see the cracks of where they had to stitch like what the show was to what it like eventually became. And so it is nice to not have that feeling totally, but there is still some remnants of that. Like I feel the whole plot line with his partner, his former partner, his former law partner, I feel like it's not that I don't care about it or it's not as important, but it did feel like it kind of detracted more away from the kind of the parts of the episode I was really enjoying, which was the Daredevil stuff. Like I think starting off the bat with that boat sequence and like having Matt, do the fights and stuff like is really cool. Having Matt truly be not just like a vigilante because they say so, but like actually there's people hunting for him. Like it just, I think set it off for like a really great tone, and I'm excited to see like what the rest of the season has in store.
Yeah, I think that was a tremendous sequence, and it did answer the question, what does Daredevil do if a boat starts to sink? I mean, obviously he has his ways to use his senses to pretty much see things, but that's pretty tricky to do. Is like, okay, the boat is sinking or at least capsizing or what have you. In what you were saying, Nate, there are remnants of season 1, and the episode begins with the BB report. And I'm reminded of BB Urich instantly. So I didn't even get 1 minute to enjoy the show. And she's not my least favorite character, but, she's not my favorite. And I do think that her story has become more interesting at the end of last season. And they reminded us, like, no, remember, she's in on all this. She knows who killed her uncle. But no matter how much Michael Gandolfini's in an episode, it's going to be too much for me. And I think it's a lost cause for me. I'm not coming back. All right. I cannot. And, I don't know anything. I haven't read it. There are some critics and reviewers or people who have, I think, seen the whole season. I haven't read any of that stuff. If he dies this season, and I'm talking about obviously the character, don't want anything to happen to the actual Mr. Gandolfini. Daniel is his character. If Daniel is no longer with us at the end of the season, well, we might start an episode with Cool in the Gang. Mr. Brody, what did you think of this first episode of season 2?
Well, first of all, I'm hoping that Daniel goes out the way the kid did in Penguin, where his loyalty is rewarded with death. So that would be a good way for him to go. As far as the first episode, it had me from, again, even though cargo ships don't go under the Brooklyn Bridge, as a New Yorker, I got offended by that. But other than that, that opening scene was tremendous. The big moment for me was the DD showing on his chest. That was fantastic. The darkness, the grit, the grunting on every punch, the bone breaking, the profanity.
Oh my gosh, there was a lot of profanity, wasn't there?
A lot of profanity. Yep. The lighting from the dark scenes to the scene when he's in his apartment and the lights coming, the sun's coming through. It was just all beautifully done. And it made me think about how much better season 1 could have been if the people who did season 2 did all of season 1, not just tried to fix season 1. This was Netflix to me. It felt like Netflix. It felt like there was going to be a hallway fight at any moment.
Good Netflix too.
Good Netflix. Yeah. So I loved it. I thought and I loved the way they alluded to Jessica, but didn't say her name, because I think when the show was filmed, they maybe hadn't decided yet whether they were going to announce that she was in the show. So I think they're not going to mention her right away, but I just love that little tease at the beginning, where they mentioned, that they had somebody that we'd be working with. I just thought it was all great. And the ending was phenomenal, which we'll get to. Overall, I just loved the whole vibe of the show. Loved it.
Yeah, no, I think that, there's definitely, I think it was a really good balance. We've talked about a couple of the action sequences, the fight sequences, and especially the last few minutes of the episode. But there was the balance of some other character stuff. I know Eric Conner always appreciates anytime there's sweaty fisticuffs between a male and female lead. And I believe you were swooning, but maybe I'm, painting with too broad a brush. But what did you think of the episode, sir?
I swooned from DD and BB. The BB report. What I enjoy about moments like that is, now that we've done quite a few episodes of the show, I know somewhere Christian Bladt is hurting. When I see the BB report montage, I'm like, oh, he's not happy. And then Gandolfini shows up, and I'm like, oh, Christian, it's like I could feel your vibe as I watch it. This, it's off to a great start. Charlie Cox, I mean, it's at the point now I realize we're taking him for granted how great he is. Because he plays so many different things in this show. He could be funny, he could be sly, he could be sad, he could be morose. And also physically, his stunt double does a lot of great work, but there's moments that it's him, and I'm completely buying into his powers. The fight choreography is always really sharp in this show. And I think they also, one minor complaint I had from last season was they made Daredevil's powers a little more cartoony. And here it felt a little more grounded. I think they sort of course corrected there. They didn't feel the need once they went to Disney Plus to keep it kind of broader strokes to describe that action. Very cinematic. The emotions are great. I still I will never understand why they made that choice with Foggy. I can't imagine he was an expensive actor, and the lack of him I still feel.
Yeah, I mean, it was such an important part of the dynamic. He definitely helped kind of keep Matt from being, completely consumed by the devil of Hell's Kitchen, and I mean, there's a reason why the character is so important to the comic book version. It's why Jon Favreau stood out in the Ben Affleck classic Daredevil from 2003. I know everybody still talks about it, but no, I mean, I do think, to what Brody's point, when you were saying, if the season 2 people did the whole season, would they have killed Foggy? Because we do know that they originally killed both Karen and Foggy. So
I think yes.
You think they still would have killed Foggy?
I think it sucks because I love the actor and I love the characters and the dynamic of them, but also in the TV world, when you're trying to like progress a character and you want Matt to go through this dark, I'm gonna be the full on the devil thing, right? Like, I think having the motivation being that he lost his, him stuck in that anti-hero dilemma of like, I've been trying to do things the right way, but now it's not working, and the people I love are getting hurt, so now I'm gonna kind of like go a little bit darker as we're seeing. So I think without Foggy dying, them trying to justify the Daredevil that we saw in this episode in All Black that was like grunting super aggressively and like broke that dude's leg in season 1, I think it would be a little bit more jarring if there wasn't like, there's few things I think that could motivate that, and Foggy not being around, let alone dying, kind of because Matt went soft on somebody a little bit. Like, I think that's how he's interpreting it, but I can see why the writers. I'm pretty confident that the team that took over was like, oh yeah, no, he has to stay dead. This has to be a core issue for him to kind of work through.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think all of that makes sense, but I agree with the first part more than anything, that I did like the actor and I love the character. Daniel Drew says, I think it was simply because they wanted to not have it be Karen and switch it up from the comics, though I don't know if she'll survive this season. I can't even imagine, especially now that she can sometimes double as a brunette. I know you noticed, Eric. Yeah, don't pretend you didn't. So
even through my red glasses, I could still see.
Was that you, Brody? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on what Nate said. I think I understand the point about moving Daredevil forward, but I think had Foggy been put into a coma and it was Daredevil's fault, and he didn't have him there because he's in a coma, I think it would have, and he blamed himself for the coma. I think it would have had the same effect on him not being there, not being words of wisdom because he's in a coma, but not necessarily dead. And I think also, had the show gone on the air with the original script, Foggy and Karen weren't in the show at all.
Right.
And I think
right.
they may have killed Foggy because they couldn't figure out a way to put him in the whole season. They only put Karen in like one episode and had to go to California. So I don't know if they would have killed them had they been written in from the start for the whole season. Maybe Matt would have had a girlfriend and she would have died, which would have given the same impact of loss.
Well, he did have a girlfriend, and we get
but they didn't need
her this year. Yeah,
right. They didn't need to kill her. They just made her evil. I think they might have killed somebody else. That's all I'm saying.
I do think if you're really trying to motivate Matt, a coma isn't going to get the job done. Just imagine if poor Thomas and Martha Wayne were taking young Bruce Wayne to the movies, and then they went down the wrong alley and got put into a coma. And then they got out of the coma within like a few months or whatever. He probably never would have become Batman.
They would have had to been in a coma for 20 years for him to become Batman. So I don't. Yeah.
I think a coma is a really good idea, and it doesn't change too much of what's happened, but still opens the door for him to come back. I will say though, however, that if all that we changed was making it a coma instead of him dying, then we would be sitting here talking about how are they going to have this super deadly Bullseye who can 2-for-1 shot a guy, but he didn't kill Foggy. He just put him in a coma.
Yeah.
Like, so you close one loop and you end up opening a whole nother one.
Irritable bowel syndrome. They
Yes.
give him irritable bowel syndrome.
I didn't say Bullseye put him in a coma, but
it has to be Bullseye, right?
Well, I mean, that the way that the story was structured, every part of that made sense. But yes, to the point that if he doesn't kill him, his name can't be Bullseye anymore. You know, it's a very contemporary reference. The Get Smart missed it by that much. That's actually what his name should be. Yeah.
Okay. What if he had a cell phone in his pocket and Bullseye hit it right where he should have, but it deflected off of the cell phone, put him in a coma?
Get this man in the writer's room.
Yeah.
But
what is that going to do to his cell phone coverage? You know, I mean, just imagine that. That's the real problem.
Yeah,
especially
keep in mind, Daredevil. It wasn't Daredevil's fault that Bullseye killed Foggy Nelson. It was the fact he went to the apartment, right, to save the guy he was protecting, and he wasn't there to protect Foggy. But it wasn't like he did something or couldn't stop Bullseye. He wasn't there to stop him.
Right.
So,
No. It's not Spider-Man seeing the guy who will go on to kill Uncle Ben run by and like, hey man, not my problem. You know, so it's not that moment. You can only have so many of those. Go ahead, Nate.
I've interpreted his guilt not so much as like that he wasn't directly there to stop it, but that he has fought Bullseye before and he has argued with Frank about the right way to stop criminals and violent offenders. And I think he is struggling with the, moral boundaries he's put on himself and wondering of like, did I allow this to happen by not killing him? I think that's where the kind of moral dilemma is, especially as he dips deeper into the, Matt's all about the balance, right? Of like, he's this super violent, very capable fighter who inspires fear in people as he has no fear, fights in the dark, right? But also he fights in the light as straightforward as possible. He argues the law. He knows the letter of the law. He tries to defend, people in the light. So that now that the balance is disrupted and Matt is like totally in hiding and it's just Daredevil, now we get to see the kind of demon, kind of take over.
Yes, I think that there is that balance. I mean, Matt's really been through it when you look at the previous 4 seasons, of both incarnations of this show, and it's always kind of working on, the line, the balancing act between two of them. We have talked a little bit about some of the brutal fight scenes that we've gotten, and Eric wanted to make sure that he demonstrated. This is that
a picture of Nate or from the show?
No, this is from the show. Yeah, actually, the guy on the right is me when I saw Michael Gandolfini, and he's got this really fancy apartment, and it's like, oh yeah, Mayor Fisk owns the building. But
it wasn't just the bone sticking out of the arm, which was lovely. It was his almost like glee, him like looking at I did it. Look, Ma, no hands. I'm very proud of him for what he did here, and he's proud of himself, as he should be.
As he should be. And Daniel Drew asks, snap goes the weasel. There's a comment in the chat that is a little bit of some inside baseball, but he's talking about my friend Blind Mike Geary. Blind Mike speaks with a certain confidence that I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that he secretly fights crime around Boston. Yes, he is based in Boston, and we do know that there is... we have the precedence of Matt Murdock, who is without sight, but also without fear because of his heightened senses. And yes, I wouldn't be surprised. Check out the Blind Mike Project Sundays on YouTube. All right. See, look at that. You weren't even trying to have me promote Blind Mike's show, Chris Tuttle, but we appreciate you checking in. We do get, when we do these late night shows, we get our European friends checking in. So glad to see that. In any event, I'm glad you kept this photo up as long as you did.
so we can really appreciate the.
Well, I wanted to make sure that if one of my kids came in the room, that they would have a lot of questions, and there's a lot of attention paid to the guys that are, I don't know, the crew of the boat, and you chose to have this caption. You can't. There are men down there. And this was, they knew what they were supposed to do, which is, I guess, sink the boat. But I think that the instructions were to, I don't know, be successful at it and not do what these guys did.
Yeah, half sinking a boat doesn't count, right? All sink, no middle.
If only they knew the Hudson River or the East River wasn't deep enough for a cargo ship to sink, or for that matter, even go through, they would have known it's not going to sink.
Where should they have gone? Is there a body of water that it would have made sense?
Yeah, the Verrazano, the straits over by the Verrazano Bridge where the cruise ships go, absolutely. Okay. But the two rivers cannot first of all, the water's not deep enough. Second of all, the bridges aren't high enough for cruise ships and large ships to go under. So
season one writers would have fixed that. I think.
We saw it go under a bridge.
Yeah,
it went under the Brooklyn Bridge, but that's not possible. So, I mean, not that a blind man could have radar was also not possible, but in the grand scheme of being a New Yorker, that ship would not be there. But it looked good. It looked
so good.
Cinematic.
And then, of course, Daredevil washes up on the beach. I'm not sure what beach that is.
Son of a beach.
No, I don't believe that that's what it was.
It's the Brooklyn Bridge Beach. Everybody knows.
Could it have been? Could that have been down at?
Well, the kids.
Could he washed up at Coney Island? Is that?
No, I mean maybe it was Governor's Island, maybe, but not by where it looked like with the skyline behind him. It was all
Rikers, possibly
Hollywood,
Jersey Shore.
Yeah. What I always enjoy about the images that Eric sends me as we go through the episode is that I never quite know what I'm going to get. But I did earlier describe you as swooning, and I think this is your lock screen on your cell phone now. This is what you've been waiting for, right? These two crazy kids getting back together.
Well, I mean, by the way, if you hear any heavy breathing, that's my Australian Shepherd. It's not me, I promise. The boat is a rockin'. Don't come knocking.
Sure.
They have great chemistry, and yes, it was moist, it was wet, and then they fight. And I love this idea of like them basically using karate, kung fu as a little bit of a preamble to the bedroom. Even though they didn't.
Well, that's how you operate, right, Eric?
That's the only way I know how to operate.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's fine.
They're they're a good couple. There's chemistry. It's nice. She looks good as a brunette. And these moments where, it also separates it from a lot of the other Marvel properties, like the fact that there is, dare I say, a little bit of passion, Brody-esque level of passion, should we call it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the white hot passion of 1,000 suns is Brody passion. I believe that's what that's how it's been characterized. But yeah, I mean, look, we get it's all implied, but there's some action, and I mentioned it a moment ago or a few minutes ago. The level of swearing, it took a moment for me because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that they never said fuck on the Netflix show. And I'm pretty sure they didn't. Like that's where they drew the line. I could be wrong, but Disney Plus, we were all like, oh my gosh, they're not going to be able to tell Daredevil stories. So they kind of course correct and go the other way. It's like, how about a bunch of them, But I don't know. I find it, they definitely have surprised even me at Disney Plus with the more adult content, but we're 35 minutes into the show, and we haven't once talked about Mr. Charles, Matthew Lillard.
Tremendous.
Is he your favorite Shaggy, or are you always going to be a Casey Kasem guy, Brody?
I mean, I'm a Casey Kasem guy, but for live action, I mean, Casey Kasem was just the voice of Shaggy. Matthew Lillard was G Scoob. He was live action. So apples and oranges, my friend. You can't compare.
That's fair.
But
also,
Casey could have put on the goatee, that's a different story.
I also think that Matthew Lillard, his version of Shaggy, also would have never wanted to have to do a goddamn dog death dedication coming out of an up-tempo record.
No, you never.
Get Don in here. Is Don here? Anyway,
Don.
So we get Mr. Charles, who says that he's visiting from Langley, and Mayor Fisk and Mrs. Fisk do let him know, like, hey, you're kind of an asshole. And he's like, yep, I sure am. And I'm like, all right, we're setting the standard for Mr. Charles. What are your thoughts on this character and sort of the ability that he has and the confidence he has in what he's able to do and his connections? I'll ask you first, Eric Conner.
Well, one, I know how happy you are seeing the BB report. It's how happy Quentin Tarantino is to see Matthew Lillard on a hell of a hot streak this past year. Oh, and then here it is. Matthew responds to Quentin Tarantino's criticisms of his acting. It effing sucks. I love this very sad, lonely photo of Matthew.
I mean, look, he said Tarantino said the same thing about Paul Dano, and there's one of them that you're like, all right, I think that might not be far off, but it's crazy. It's like you just don't work with actors you don't like,
Yeah.
But
here's the thing: Quentin Tarantino said he loves Gandolfini's kid as an actor, so loves him.
He reads the BB report every day.
And he's also personally one of the worst actors I've ever seen on screen. So maybe he should shut up.
But you mean with lines like "Don't fucking Jimmy me, Jules," okay?
Look, yeah, I'm wearing the hat, okay, and he needs to
hold it
shut
up
up.
again. Oh yeah, look at that, the whole bloody affair.
Yeah, and that being said, he needs to shut up. Shut up. Play your old movies, re-release them.
Yeah.
Don't say anything else. And don't make another movie either. I think we're good.
You might have gotten your wish there, Nate.
Oh, yeah. No, I know.
He's kind of pulled himself out of everything, but
you got to take what you can get these days. And that is a W in my book.
And look, if
more people need to retire.
If Fincher is going to do the Cliff Booth movie, that sounds like an upgrade. But back to the topic at hand, which of course is the great Mr. Charles, Eric.
He's fun because he has like this energy no one else does. And those who are not fans of Matthew Lillard or Shaggy, they're not going to be turned by his performance here. But there's something to be said about he is playing it like such an unrepentant a-hole. And the idea that he's like not afraid of Kingpin it's kind of great. Like he comes in there, acts like he owns the place, and I guess he does. I'm very curious about him. I did a little bit of homework that didn't find very much about this character in Marvel lore or Marvel comics at all. So he's kind of a blank slate right now. I'm really curious to see what colors they put on said canvas.
I would like Daniel Drew to elaborate on this. He has his boss's energy, which makes sense. So that tells me that Daniel has a sense of who he works for.
They said who he works for.
He said on the phone.
Yeah. Who did they say it was?
Valentina De Fontaine.
Oh, okay. Yes.
An off-camera cameo.
Yeah. Well, considering the way that they're tightening their purse strings, it's probably going to stay off camera if I had to guess. But you never know. Yes, that's right. Of course, Valentina. I
think she'll probably show up in the end.
Yeah. No, I think she's going to set up something else. Who knows?
Yeah.
She's the new Nick Fury, coming in at the end and letting us know what's coming on. And yes, right. She is the head of the CIA in the MCU. I kind of forgot that Thunderbolts doesn't end with her getting what's coming to her, and in fact, it just kind of it's more of the same. But that's fine. I think you're right, but I feel like there's more. I think that yes, he's on the payroll of the CIA, but that's his boss. Okay, but my thinking was more along the lines of, is there somebody else, though, who is really motivated in having Mr. Charles that's not Valentina? Is there some other bigger, badder that we could see? Because there's there's always the idea that someone else is looming, and I don't have any theories as to who it is. But I guess if it is Valentina, that's still enough. But he's it's tough. It's tough to watch, but in the way that that's what they're going for, I didn't even think of this. This is possibly set before Thunderbolts: New Avengers. Oh boy, since it's 6 months after the first
That's
season.
a really good question.
Come on, what are they doing? Just when you put stuff out, have it take place after the thing that came out.
I was told there'd be no math.
You don't give me a Black Widow movie 5 years after it actually happened. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
The thing that came out was in Fantastic Four, right? Just checking.
You're talking about the thing.
The thing that came out. Yeah.
Yes. My bell is way up there. I can't actually get it without standing up. And so, Nate, you're welcome.
He brings his own.
I know. I forget.
Take my wins where I can get them. Okay.
Yes. But I want to get your thoughts, Nate. Obviously, this is a really annoying character, but he's there to annoy everyone in the scenes that he's in. What are your thoughts on Mr. Charles, Nate?
I think he's a very screen accurate CIA operative who has a job that he's been tasked to do, and he does not care how it needs to get done. He's not someone who sees obstacles as obstacles. He sees them as something to just plow his way through. I think his performance is great. Again, like especially within this show, having a character that, like Eric said, like is not scared of Kingpin at all. Like it's almost kind of like if he was like Thanos to Kingpin of like, yeah, sure, in New York, you're like the big like top boss, right? But I work on a much larger scale, and you're like small fry to me. So I think that is really interesting. And I've been pleasantly surprised with how this show, both in the first season and this season, kind of tackles government corruption and people, kind of rubbing each other's backs in order to get what they want and looking the other way. I really appreciate, at least in this first episode, I like the scene in his office a lot more than kind of some of the scenes we got last season. It felt more of like seeing him use political power and how that is swayed, and having this character come in right when we see that like all this crazy stuff that he did last season is they're going to kind of be like, hey, you're the mayor, you can't do this stuff.
Yeah.
To see that it's like, oh no, actually there is not just like a higher power or like a bigger villain or something, but the literal US government is saying, no, actually we're going to allow this to happen. And so we're going to send our guy to facilitate, this situation.
You've got the attorney general that is there to lay down the law and says there's going to have to be some oversight. And Mr. Charles says you're going to want to take that phone call. And then he's like, okay, so like we were saying, Mr. Fisk, Mayor Fisk, we're going to give you full cooperation. And oversight? No, that's not necessary. Thank you, sir. So yes, I do think getting to see the way the proverbial sausage is made. Before we move on, I do want to get Brody your thoughts on Mr. Charles.
Well, I love him. I think his cockiness is perfect. And also, if you remember when he was at dinner with the Fisks, he insulted Vanessa.
He did,
right?
Yes.
And people have had their heads slammed in car doors for less by Mr. Kingpin. And I think it was to show you, the audience, that he can get away with that because he's got clout and he can be cocky. Oh, did I offend anybody? Yeah. Well, that's who I am. I'm an asshole. And Fisk could have snapped him in half, but realizes I need him. And Fontaine is more powerful than I am. And so I think it's a good foil for him because, and he may get his comeuppance by the end of the season, but right now his cockiness, his bravado, his cocksuredness, is a nice juxtaposition to the people that normally kiss Fisk's ass. Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. And he's like, yeah, you're the mayor. Whatever. You want to answer that phone? You know who my boss is. Yeah. So I love it. I think it's a perfect character.
Yes, and we'll see, what the arc is over these 8 episodes. But I think having somebody in there, and it's a great point by Nate that he's not afraid of the Kingpin, and pretty much everyone is. Matt is without fear, but he is actually pretty scared of the Kingpin. He just knows that he can stand up to him. And yes, Eric.
Well, and also too, one thing I realized as we talk about this, he was also kind of a dick to Vanessa.
Well, yeah, that's what Brody literally just said.
Yeah, and it's like, to be that way to Vanessa. That, I mean, that to me is like, okay, that shows because he knows who Vanessa is. He obviously,
of course,
he seems to get that. Yeah, oh yeah, no, she's part of this. She's not just a wife. And it's like, that's really like, trying to stir the pot. He's also, by the way, Matthew Lillard's already listed, right? I think he's in every episode this season, it sounds like. Unless, I mean, I know sometimes they'll lie about this.
I mean, that doesn't mean he can't fall down an elevator shaft in episode 8, though.
Maybe he's in that coma. That we wanted for Foggy.
I would be very surprised if this character is contained to just this show. I don't think, again, I think it will be as they've done so far, where like we'll see him again and you won't necessarily it won't be like, oh, this is just a straight up continuation from the show, but it'll be like, oh, he was in Daredevil working for Valentina or something. Like I think he serves a very useful tool as the, like, Marvel has this espionage spy craft world as well. Like that is another theme that they employ, just like magic and high tech stuff and whatever. And so I think tying that into the political thriller they've already created here is really great, especially moving forward with what they want to do with Valentina. And then if we're leading towards a Dark Avengers type of thing, like this whole arc, them laying this groundwork to have these agents which are going to places and enacting the will of whoever is pulling the strings here, I think is really valuable, and will make it so that when we get to the big event type situation, it won't be like Secret Invasion where it's just like out of nowhere all this stuff is happening. There is like a build up to this plot of hopefully Dark Avengers or some type of thing where we'll be able to have seen the groundwork of like the pieces being moved into place.
Right. No, I think that, as you're talking, I can see just from a storytelling standpoint, he could sort of pop into various stories in various situations, kind of like Coulson did early on in the MCU.
Right.
He was
exactly. Valentina is evil Nick Fury. This guy is evil Coulson. Like he's gonna pop up to places and be like, yeah, I'll help you do something that you probably shouldn't do, and then just like disappear.
I'm reminded in my notes about Mr. Charles of what might be my favorite line that he had, which was, I don't even know what a lieutenant governor actually is. So,
Same.
He's there. Let's talk about swordsman. We get Jack Duquesne, who is someone that we first got to see in the Hawkeye series, and we saw him again last season. And I believe Matt's ex is named Heather because it's my wife's name. And I was trying to remember, I'm like, I couldn't remember her name. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I know what her name is. And, I think that, did she do a heel turn last season, Eric? Is that accurate? That she got in bed with Fisk. And I find it very interesting that she still sees Muse because having to have lived through that is very traumatic. And, you owe your life to Matt, but go ahead and work for the guy that's consistently trying to kill him. So getting to see the swordsman, I thought was good. I feel like that actor, he brings a fun presence to it. I hope he gets to do something sometime soon. He hasn't really gotten to do much. Well, not in this show. He's done no swordsman-ing. I think he got one episode of Hawkeye, and he was like dating or.
There was the cell phone footage
that
we saw.
That's right.
He was dating Kate Bishop's
mom, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to think if it was her stepdad. No, it was just the
she's
boyfriend,
got it going on.
Yeah, right. Yes, but Kate, no Kate Bishop turning up as Haley Steinfeld has the future quarterback of the Buffalo Bills gestating inside of her, thanks to her.
Oh,
well, I'm just saying that's her husband.
Is gestating a troubling word for you?
I mean, it's kind of gross, actually.
Yeah, Yeah, the whole inside thing. Oh,
I mean, it's where he is. I mean, what do you want?
Maybe.
Okay, sure.
When you're that rich, it's possible you don't really even
Oh,
need
that's true.
anything.
It might
It's
be in a
true.
lab, like
Right.
at an Illuminati bunker. Listen, Josh Allen's never won a Super Bowl. He's not in the Illuminati. All right, so
That's
true, yeah.
he lives in Buffalo. Okay, might as well be Rochester. Yeah, that's right.
I just want him to wear the swordsman costume. Once.
I do. Yes.
It is one of the worst costumes in Marvel lore. It's like we deserve to have a couple of truly terrible costumes. Every show should bring out at least one, even if it's ironically, even if it's a costume party. Just give us that, please. I don't ask for much.
Agreed. I think it would also fit the character too, to have like
completely
a ridiculous, like,
Tony Dalton's not playing this subtle. Yes. He's playing for the back of the house. I completely agree, Nate.
No, I know, but I mean, the interesting thing about the swordsman costume is that it's basically, I mean, the color scheme is really Hawkeye's comic book costume. I mean, it's just this, it's like, how many shades of purple can we get? All right, let's find out, I don't know that we're going to get it. Although, to be fair, in Wonder Man, we did see the Christmas tree costume. It was on a poster, but we did see the worst of Wonder Man's costume. So, they do like to show it, but if he shows up dressed like this, I think, I think that we're all in for a treat. Brody, what would you like to see out of the swordsman?
Well, I'd like to see him do some swordsmaning.
Yes, exactly.
Too much man, not enough sword.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'd like if he's and not a fencing sword. I mean, the swordsman walked around with a sword, not a what do you call those? What do you call those? Rapiers or the fencing swords? Whatever they call them.
A foil.
You got
it. I don't even.
You got it.
A foil, right? It's or a foil. Yeah, he's got to have a real sword and a real costume, broadsword, and a real costume, and start slicing some heads off. Not this. Oh, look at me, I'm Zorro, but a little more effeminate. None of that. I need to see some bloodshed, Daredevil Netflix style.
Well, yeah, a little bit, right? A little bit less like.
But what if we got
George
Daredevil
Hamilton
Netflix
Zorro
style bloodshed with the rapier and a bright purple costume? You'd be okay with that, right?
Yeah, you got me. I'll meet you in the middle there.
Yeah, rapier in the eye, right in the
everybody's
eye.
happy. Yeah, and then he pulls it out,
pulls the eye out,
and it's stuck.
Just imagine this costume spattered in blood. All right, you look great.
Yeah, but look at the sword. That's a sword.
Yeah,
that's true. Right.
That's a knife.
I was just gonna say
some girth.
It looks like you're trying to get your Paul Hogan impression in there.
It's got some girth. The sword looks big too.
So, we started off talking. Anyway, I feel like the swordsman's best episodes are ahead of us, but I was glad to see him again. We started talking about the BB report, and we did get some of this, a little bit more. I don't know, the viral video version of Fisk here that. Well, I'm just going to say it. It's clearly also BB is putting out these videos as well because, this is what she really wants to say. But that's why, Daniel is even saying like, yeah, good job on that coverage of how everybody loves Fisk now. So I thought it was great to see this, but also the flashback to Ben Urich, who too soon. But Eric, you also decided to send me an image. I'm going to let you explain what this is because I know what it is. But you tell me why this isn't just Max Headroom. This is something very specific that happened.
David Lee Roth.
Actually, today it might be. Yeah, this was was it in Chicago, Christian, where they pirated a broadcast on two different. I want to say it was like even two different stations.
Yeah, it was the PBS station during a Doctor Who broadcast, and then another one was like an over the air. Yeah.
and it was a guy doing Max Headroom, ironically enough. So yeah, and maybe just because that just popped up in my feed for some reason, and then all of a
I
sudden
think it
I'm
was the
looking-
anniversary of that. Yeah,
That
I
might
wish
be it.
Cammie Egan was here, but she has to get up for work tomorrow. Ugh, priorities.
Well, I like
Yeah.
that this could also be a Tor Johnson mask. I don't think it necessarily is a Kingpin mask, which
You
gives
mean
me hope
Plan
that
9 from Outer Space's
Yes.
Tor Johnson?
George
Yeah.
the Animal Steel, Tor Johnson. Yes,
right.
I'm here for
I'm
that,
with you.
and I'm ready
Yeah.
for that this Halloween. I wanted to come back.
Yes. So I don't know. I mean, I think that it is very apparent that BB is playing a lot of these situations, even when she's talking to Karen. I mean, everything about this frame is makes it like, oh, do I really want to watch 2 episodes of this show next week? I'm kidding, but I mean, just looking at him. And again, we're talking about Matthew Lillard playing this character that we're supposed to hate. I don't think I'm supposed to hate Daniel quite as much as I do. I think I might have a problem. I'm gonna just say it.
As much as you do, no.
No, yeah.
You're really not supposed to like him, but
Yeah. Right. But no, I mean, I'm a next level for this.
Well, you saw the Many Saints of Newark or Newark, depending if it was set in Delaware.
It's
Newark.
not.
no, I didn't.
It's the many
Newark.
states of Newark. Yeah.
Newark.
And
By
yes,
any
I
chance,
did.
Christian, do you have the next photo from this? Hopefully, it is at the ready. There it is. Yes, in your honor.
Here's the Gandolfoni, the bargain bin, James Gandolfini. Now, I assume this image already existed and you didn't create
No,
this, right?
No, I created this.
That's the best part of this. And in the live chat, our friend Liam McEnany, who
That's right.
we've attended many a film with, some of them actually good, and he's reminding us that we're nerds, Eric, and he's not wrong. He's the ogre from Revenge of the Nerds.
But remember, Ogre turned in Revenge of the Nerds too. We'll turn you, Liam.
Nerds in Paradise, yeah. So, yeah, I think that they're trying to. Let's maybe put it a different way. I hope that there is a worthwhile payoff, and BB is in a situation where she can bring down Fisk, and if it all builds up to that, I think her uncle would be proud of her. And there's a great moment with BB and Karen where Karen's like, yeah, pretty sure he died trying to save my life, and it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty heavy stuff, so I like that interaction. Listen, I might come around on BB, never coming around on Daniel. I'm just I can't at this point. I'm sorry. I'll try to not devote so much of the show to it, but
Daniel Drew, you might want to change your name.
No, that's true. I love Daniel Drew, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It's confusing. Oh my gosh, Eric, I like to discover your photos while we're on the air, but the problem with that is that I wouldn't have had to look for a swordsman picture. I just could have used your swordsman picture, which was his first appearance in Avengers 19, it looks like. And my new glasses aren't in yet, so I'm fairly sure that's issue 19. So anyway, I mean, and by the way, let's talk about bad costumes. I mean, the Lady Bird Johnson glasses on Hawkeye, and I'm not entirely sure what Wanda has on. It looks like something out of Terry Gilliam's Brazil.
Trying to imagine a costume designer trying to make that in 3D. It's just
and
the actress gains 3 inches on their neck.
Yeah, what?
And this is a little bit of some inside baseball, but here Quicksilver looks like my co-host Eric Zane. So there's a lot of thoughts in here, and I do like this because it's something that you had mentioned. Alausi says, "Is there a reference photo for brunette Karen asking for a friend?" Let me ask a follow-up. Is the friend you? Because I feel like that's probably where that's going, right? Is that's what you're trying to say. I thought you gave me a picture of brunette Karen, but I'm not seeing it in here. So I think you saved that one for yourself, didn't you, Eric?
Why would I do that? It's only my new screen, my new desktop, and I printed out a poster.
Let's talk about Detective Cherry, who I was convinced we were going to lose towards the end of the episode, and we still might, by the way, next week. I don't know that he's going to make it through both of those episodes. The great Clark Johnson, who, he's worked for years, but I became fond of him on Homicide: Life on the Street.
Same.
And so I will miss him if the irregular heartbeat continues. And, they wisely figured out that that's a way to get to Daredevil. They get him out of hiding, and they get to the moment where they can really just shoot Matt Murdock in the head. And I think we all knew that wasn't going to happen. And then the knife that gets thrown in, it says "You're welcome," which if he weren't currently in holding, I'd be like, well, I bet the swordsman could do that. I think I have a theory as to who threw that knife, but Nate, who do you think came to Matt's rescue?
Are we pretending that we didn't read the knife? Are we?
We can pretend we have theories.
Yeah. My theory is that it's Bullseye.
Yeah,
because that's what the knife said. I mean, I definitely didn't see that coming.
No,
I
and
knew
it's
that they weren't
really
gonna-
shocking that it's Bullseye.
Yeah.
I should have asked the question in a better way.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that was perfect.
I just didn't know if you didn't see that or something. But yeah, no. I obviously they were not going to shoot Matt, but I definitely was sitting there going like, okay, how are we getting out of this one? Because I forget the detective. The private detective's name, I forget his name.
With
but
Detective Cherry, who was
Cherry. For a moment, I thought, okay, Cherry's gonna like have his own superhero moment and then like shoot the cops. Like I don't know if they're ready to do that.
I didn't think he had access to a gun. Like I felt like he wasn't going to be able to. And,
Sure.
Good to see my pal Phil Marks out in there. And yes, the whole thing's nuts. And the question of Bullseye is like, okay, why? It's like, is it one of those? Well, if anybody's going to kill you, it's me. I don't quite know.
Yeah.
But
I think he realizes that he needs Daredevil in the war against Fisk. I think he hates Fisk more than anything. He tried to kill him last season,
right?
And he realizes he can't overthrow the city by himself. And if it means partnering with Daredevil and whomever, I think he'd rather side with Daredevil than the vigilante cops. So that's what I took out of it.
Yeah. No, I think that it absolutely makes sense as to why he would do it. And it's really a very narrow reasoning. That's kind of the only reason why he would do it, because in general, I don't think, he's like, oh no, Matt, I'm going to miss you. I don't.
And the only options there, that's kind of like the only other, there's like really two options to save him in that situation, right? Because those agents now know who he is. He's recognizable enough that they instantly know who he is. So they have to die.
Yeah.
And Matt's not going to kill them.
No.
And so the other option is Frank kills them, but like obviously they didn't go that path.
Jessica wouldn't kill them, I don't think.
No.
She would like throw them, out the window or something. But
yeah, exactly. And then they
totally
still
assumed,
go and stay.
Go ahead, Eric.
No, I was just saying I totally assumed that it was going to be Frank, that it was as my wife is wrestling a dog in the background.
Wait, isn't that supposed to be on the Patreon for the after show? Where it's premium content where your wife
Countess Conner wrestles dog.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, I think that there was really the only way out of it, because once they see who he is, it's like, oh yeah, the blind lawyer guy. Everybody knows Matt Murdock. So that means that I think that the reason for Bullseye to do it, I think, has been nailed on the head, and I can't wait to see what happens next week. What I really want to know is when we are going to get Jessica Jones. Jessica Drew is Spider-Woman. Right. It'd be great to get her too.
What about Nancy Drew? She might be able to solve this whole thing.
No.
Breeze?
No. Oh, no,
Okay,
Drew.
if they find a reason that Drew Brees should be here, you let me know.
Drew Lock, maybe he's available.
No, all right.
Drew Barrymore.
Sandra
Okay.
Lock.
All right,
I
now we're
lost my
on.
horns.
Now we're on to something.
Now you
You've
know who
lost
I
your
am.
horns.
What about Drew from 98 Degrees? Drew Lachey? Anybody?
Drew Carey.
I think you've. Oh, okay, yeah.
See?
He'll come in with a Plinko board, but Drew
Yeah,
Lachey definitely is the most obscure Drew that was brought here. So Brody, you win for that. But
Thank you.
I do like the idea of Drew Carey showing up. So
that fight scene also too was like really good. It was choreographed so well, and we got more of like one of my criticisms of even the original show, which had some really great scenes, is it doesn't have as much of the acrobatic stuff we know Daredevil for, especially with his like batons with the like ropes and stuff. And so there was a few moments where he was like tossing it out that were just like it was like, oh yeah, this is the comic on the page on the screen. Like it looked really good. And I also like that we've seen him fighting very aggressively. He's a very good fighter, but clearly he's having, he used to be very calm and kind of in control, and now he's he's losing that control. And in that sense, that I think showing that moment of him hesitating and him thinking back to Foggy dying and stuff like that, causing him to lose the fight, is just really great superhero storytelling to do that in the first episode of like, hey, here's our hero, he's fighting, he's doing his thing, but internally he's dealing with this issue, and that almost cost him his life, right? And now he's going to be indebted to this guy that he also hates, and he's going to be mad that he killed those people, even though Bullseye is going to be like, well, if I didn't kill them, they were just going to go tell everyone who you are. So I think it was a really, really nice way to wrap up the episode and kind of keep momentum going for like for the rest of the season, to be like, okay, what's going to happen from this?
Right, exactly. And I agree that Matt is fighting much more aggressively here in past incarnations of the on-screen character. He never would have done anything like this. He would have basically done all the fighting to make sure that he doesn't break anybody's bones and pop them out through there. I hadn't shown that in a while, Eric.
And he wouldn't have screamed with such glee and delight. That's the thing too. I remember the first season's a lot of grunting, and this one it was more like screaming. You're right, Nate. There's a certain je ne sais quoi to his approach now. He's maybe a touch of bloodlust is in the mix now in the Devil's Mouth. It's hard to say. And the sound design, by the way, we're talking about the imagery, that the moment of the heart and him like hearing the sound of the heartbeat mixed in with the sound of the fight was incredible. And one last little cinematic thing, I like the Dutch angle they used every time when there was a Dr. Glenn would see Muse. So the idea that like her life is again spiraling out of control, is going lopsided.
Well, she's solving her problems by drinking heavily, so I don't think anything's going to go wrong there. So that's
name one person it ever affected negatively. You can't.
You can't.
We'll be here till next week's episode. Yeah, exactly. And as we mentioned, next week we will indeed have 2 episodes of this show, and so they will show up Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, and I believe we'll be back at this time next week. Follow me on social media at Christian DMZ, and if we have to tweak the schedule at all, we'll let you know. But excited to get the double dip next week. It's almost more fun to get it in the second week because we had all this time to anticipate the show coming back. And I don't know, does that just mean that episode 2 is going to be a little bit of a snoozer? And they're like, okay, I guess I have to give you another one. A couple odds and ends from the chat and things. Daniel Drew mentioned a while ago that we will also get a second season of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man this year. I love the animation style. It'll be interesting to see what stories they tell there. And Brody, you sent me something that I guess the Spider Noir show is going to show up on Amazon Prime, even here in the US, all at once. And then weekly, it's going to be on MGM Plus, which does beg the question: are they even trying to get people to get MGM Plus? Works better for me, but I'm not quite sure. And we haven't talked about how on this show. We've talked about, Eric and I talked about it on Geekscape News, but it was officially announced that there'll be a second season of Wonder Man. So
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know what you were doing. I thought
Wonder Man.
I thought that these were like some Jersey gang signs. You know, I thought you were spelling out Wawa.
Yeah.
So I wasn't quite sure what was going on there. I was just trying to look away from you.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
I was trying to just, not be embarrassed for you. And
that was my Flavor Flav.
Daniel Drew says, great use of the Billy Club wires. So yes, I agree with that. So again, we're just talking about all the great Marvel news that we're getting and all the great Marvel talk we're having here on the show over the next few months and throughout the rest of the year. So looking forward to getting to dive back into Daredevil Born Again. 2 more episodes next week should be fun. I know, Nate, you won't be able to be with us for a couple weeks. So if people want to know, what's Nate thinking about Daredevil? He's not on the show. Do you want them to find you, or they just have to wait 3 weeks to find out what you think?
Yeah, if you feel so inclined, you can follow me on the internet at Dog Like Nate with 2 G's. I guess I could definitely do a tweet out of the episode next time I watch it, since I know I won't be here. But I am excited to be back on the show to talk about the rest of it, because I think this is really going to go into a cool place.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. And they're already filming season 3. And I would like them to stop talking about season 3 in interviews, because I want to let me get through season 2 and then I can get caught up on what they're saying. Oh, and I haven't checked out any of it. I know Dan, you checked it out. There's an accompanying podcast now. The first episode is up on Disney Plus or just wherever you get podcasts. The first episode is about season 1. And then I assume that subsequent episodes will be about the previous week's episode. So have you checked it out?
The second episode, which is about the first episode, is out now.
Okay. So
there's 2 episodes of the podcast out now on Disney Plus.
All right. Well, so I look forward to checking that out. And, look, if we're your second favorite podcast about this show, we'll take it, because we're not the official.
Done.
And Mr. Brody, if people want to know what you're up to between now and next Wednesday, how do they do that?
Well, as the title here says for our visual audience, I will be fighting crime as the devil of Hell's Bathroom. But you can find me at David Brody on social media, and of course, the Brooklyn Boys podcast, 2 episodes a week, every week, wherever you get your podcasts.
About to launch a new podcast of his own. Eric Conner has been workshopping the new Arc Boys about the mean streets of Delaware. And, don't ever ask him about Wilmington. All right. Please, let's just, but what else would you like people to know where they can find you and your wares, Mr. Conner?
Well, technically there's just one street in Delaware, so it's a mean street, not multiple streets, I say, for big states like Rhode Island. But wait, if you want to see more of me and my wife, we did a discussion of Brewster's Millions. You can find on the Geekscape TV network, as well as, if you don't remember the first 3 seasons of OG Daredevil, you could click on over to Everything You Need to Know Before Starting Daredevil Born Again. It was me a year ago with these glasses, taking 3 seasons, which I binged in a month. I still don't know how I survived it, and yet I did. For you, for our fan. I'm always looking out for you, Daniel Drew.
And if you'd like a recap of season 1 of Daredevil Born Again, don't look for it, because I remembered last night that I forgot to do it. I'm sorry, Matt Kelly. I was supposed to do it, and then I was working on so many other things that
wait till episode 5 of the season. I think that's the key spot to release that.
Yeah, okay, that's probably a good idea. In any case, and if you'd like to keep in touch with me, you can find me on social media at ChristianDMZ, and my personal podcast, the Blattcast, BLADTCAST. David Brody was on our annual MLB season preview, and we also have an upcoming episode on the 50th anniversary of Kiss Destroyer, and so much content over there, BLADTCAST. And who are these broadcasters? The show that I host Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. No, sorry, at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. I forgot. I've been plugging it for 3 years, and now we do it an hour earlier. And that's where my co-host Eric Zane is, who kind of looks like Quicksilver, and I didn't realize that until earlier. So that is all the time we have for now. We will see you all next week talking about episodes 2 and 3. But until then, as the great Stan Lee would say, Excelsior!